Okay, great. So yes, welcome to today's class. This is screenplay writing. So sometimes you on set, you've heard people saying your script and screenplay is one and the same thing. Yeah. So today we'll be learning about screenplay, and the good part about today is that you will not only learn about it, but from today onwards, you will know how to write a professional script. People can hear me, right? So if you've got anything, you can just write in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. So what is a screenplay? Um, Alan Armour defines a screenplay as a blueprint for a movie, while Sid Field describes it as a story told with pictures. And Lewis defines a screenplay as simply a blueprint for a director. It's not an art, it's a collaborative process. Linda says that a screenplay is five things: the storylines, the character, and the underlining ideas, the image, and the dialogue. So basically, a screenplay is a guide for a movie. You cannot film a movie without a screenplay. It is basically a map. Some said here that it's a blueprint for a movie, and others said it's a blueprint for the director. So from a script, you determine how many characters you need, what locations you're going to have, right? So I just want to keep in mind, if you have a pen and paper, this is what you are going to expect from today's class. You will know how to write a screenplay. You will know how to format a professional screenplay by this class. So from today onwards, I expect that we will have about 7 new writers. Are we good, right? We all agree?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, great. So this is about the premise of the thing. I'll deliberately skip this part because this is something I'm going to send for everybody, especially when pitching in their story. But I'm going to send this book in the group. It's a very short book. So I'm going to send this. So I'm going to skip this part, but you can read it there, and then I'll explain it so that everybody can can hear this, whether they're writers or not, because this is also how you pitch your story. Sometimes as a writer, you can write a film, but you don't have funds to shoot the film. So you put it in this format. So you have your premise, basically what your idea of the movie is about, the concept of your idea. Then you have the synopsis, you have the outline, the character notes. So I'll speak about this on another one so that everybody else is included. So where do you start from when writing? So when writing, as writers, it usually starts from an idea, right? Usually starts from an idea, or it's a story, or you've gone through something, or it's a dream, or yeah, or it's a song, right? So, and this is in the beginning of your writing. Take advantage that when you just start writing, please write as much as you can write, because the moment people hear that you're a writer, you will no longer start with an idea. It will be people telling you, no, I've got this story, please may you write for me, and all that, etc., etc. Then when you have your idea of a film to write about, you need to understand the genre. So is it a romantic comedy? Is it an action adventure? Is it scientific? Is it crime, thriller, or is it a drama? Right? So I don't know if everybody can see. You can just zoom in on your screen if you're having a problem to see. Can everybody see?
Yes,
Okay, great.
I can see. It's clear. Yeah.
All right. And then you have your image in your head.
Okay.
So sometimes this image can be what you're trying to, is it the film climax? Is it what you're trying to sell of the movie? Or is it because of the characters? Is the antagonist? In Zambia, we say the starring, or the protagonist, the villain, right? Or is it maybe the events? So what is the image of your film? What sells your film? So especially even when you're pitching to people and say, oh, I have this idea, what is that one thing about your movie that will sell it? And then a theme. I'm sure you hear this, Avengers, the End Game, things like that. So what's the theme of your movie? So here are some examples. There's no place like home, family, honor, among thieves, revenge. What is your film about? And then, is it a short story? So is it a short film? Is it a biography? Is it a real life event? Or is it a novel or a feature film? So in our case, we'll be writing a feature film, but it's the writing is the same way. It's the same way. We're all clear, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
clear, not knowing about others.
All right. No, there'll be time for questions and answers, and I will send this book to the group. So the creative process. So this is something about writing you need to know, that it's a very it is a criticized art. You're going to write a film. So this is the creative process. Basically, you want to write a film, the preparation, step number one, preparation. So you need adequate knowledge about what you're going to write about. So if you want to write about medicine, you need to consult doctors. You need to do research, because people will watch the film and they say, no, that's fake. You see that? Sometimes you see a movie and then you say, no, this is not real. Clearly, meaning the writer did not have necessary knowledge about that field, or doesn't have the craft and the skills in that. So you need research. You can't write about football. You don't even know about football. So write about something that you're good at. That's why people even become experts on certain things. The next thing is the incubation stage. This is letting the ideas simmer. You know, sorry, please mute your mic if you're not talking. Hello, may you please mute your mic if you're not talking. All right, great. So you have the incubation stage, letting the ideas simmer. Basically, this is putting the ideas. How is this film going to come out? You have this concept in your mind, and the best way is to get it from your mind and put it on paper, digesting it. So this is the incubation stage where the story is growing. What's going to happen? Then number three is the illumination. This is the actual inspiration and putting forth of the masterpiece into available physical reality. So basically, this is you writing. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you all the applications you need to write. Don't worry about that. You will be fully equipped. So this is when you're writing the script now, the dialogue, the action, you're bringing it into light, everything. The next stage is the verification, the editing and the raw work. When you're writing for someone, right, you write a story, they'll say, oh, I like this, please change this, or I'll do this. So there's a lot of editing that is involved, even when you're writing your own story as well. Sometimes you'll find that you've written a story, but the budget, the script is very expensive. So you have to edit things because the script is the guide. You've all been on set. When you reach set, what is the manual? It is a script. So maybe your script says, no, we bomb up a Lamborghini, and then you can't afford a Lamborghini. So you have to remove it from the script. And I'll be showing you some example scripts. The next thing, so this is the premise, right? So a certain type of person, so this is basically about your movie, and every movie has this, right? This saying, a certain type of a person has a certain goal and encounters obstacles that have challenged him or her when finally they do and achieve that goal. So basically, if you notice everything, even let me just accept some people. I'm going to make people hosts or co-hosts so that they can help me out. If somebody is coming, okay, it's all right. Yeah. So every movie, every story, even a series, Zuba, a village girl comes from the village and goes into town. Then how she maneuvers through to make it into town. Ubuntu, a man trying to arise on the throne. If you look at Fate, a man denies a child and gets involved in an accident just to find out that child ends up to save his life. If you look at Pali, a man with many wives now trying to maintain a house. So basically, this is the setup. That's the setup of your film. What's basically involved. And then you've got the second step, which is the confrontation, the development. How does your story build up? How does your story build up? So you've got your story saying that this is a stepchild who wants to get revenge on his stepmother, right? How does this story develop? How does it start? So the setup, and then how does it develop into this? The next thing is the resolution or the denouncement. How does it? And I've got a dictionary. I hope you can see. Can you see the dictionary? Denouncement, the outcome of a complex sequence of events, the final resolution. How does your film end? How does your film end? So as a writer, you hold the story of the film. And if you're writing for a series, it's even hard work because you hold the characters in the palm of your hands, and you basically have to live this life. So I don't like to be too much theoretical. I like to get practical into it. So I'll show examples of scripts, and we'll get right into script writing because we learn better in action. Golden rule of script writing. Please take note of this. As a script writer, you're not a storyteller. So you don't tell people, you show people. You don't tell people. You're not a movie writer, you're not a storyteller. You show people. You show people how things occur. So I hope the screen is still, yes. So this is a script I wrote. It's about maternal health. It's a film that is not going to be shot in Zambia. So the name is even foreign. So I'll give an example. So this is the first scene. So one thing about a film, from the definition you heard about that a film is all about the setup, the theme, the characters. When you see on the script, right, this is the scene heading, right? EXT, this thing stands for exterior, right? So this basically tells you that this scene is outside. So there is exterior and then there is interior. So this is what we call a scene heading, right? A scene heading. And in the application, I will show you how this is placed. So don't worry about placing all this. So this is the scene heading. So it's got the exterior. Then this is it basically defines the nature of the setup, right? So it's outside a poor Kenyan village house. So this is basically what's happening, the setup of the scene. And this is what the directors, the cameramen, everybody uses to do the film. And then what time is it? Is it night or day? So there's only night, day. There's only exterior or interior. If you look here, this scene one has interior. So meaning that this is outside, this is inside. This is inside, this is outside. We all clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the next part is, this is the action. This is basically describing the scene, what's happening. This is called the action. And I will show you in the application, and I'll give you the applications to use. So 3 months earlier, Halima, a mother of 4 and pregnant with twins, is at home with her 4 children near a small dying fire and has finished preparing ugali. She serves her children and they begin eating ugali and water from one plate and are happy. The children are eating and running around chasing each other happy. So this basically gives you an idea. It gives you how many characters are needed in this scene, right? It gives you the setup of the scene. Already we have the time. So we already know that. Then we know that it's a pregnant woman. So you already know. So the writer determines the cast as well. So you already know that when casting, you need a woman as somebody who can play a pregnant woman. Obviously, you can put an architect, a fake pregnancy thing, but you understand. Then she has 4 children, what they're eating, and then the action. So this is the action. This is called the action. The next thing is now the character. So this is character, and this is what the character is doing, basically touching us. So this is the action. This is called paraphento, and I'll show you in the app. And then the dialogue. So you've got the scene heading, you've got the action, And then you've got the character and the dialogue. There are many ways to tell the story, and this is why it goes with specialization. I'm an actor, so if you notice that I'm telling the story through the actor's perspective, touching her, I'm describing the movement, not interested and concerned. So when an actor is reading this script, they will interpret it because I'm telling it from an actor's perspective. Shaping ugali. Ugali is in Shima, but in Swahili,
Yeah.
ugali. So I'm describing the action. So you can tell you can write a story from the actor's perspective, or you can even tell it from the director's perspective, or you can tell it from the camera's perspective. A story is told in three. A story is told first through the script. That is the first stage of the story, through the script. The second is through the camera. The third is through the editing softwares. So you can even tell the story through the editing softwares. Are we clear?
Yeah.
So an example of telling a story through the camera is the last scene, and this was because the cameraman really wanted a certain pitch. So this is how I wrote it. So this is the scene is what is scene 24. So even numbering, it helps better, especially when many people are writing, and also just to keep track. So exterior, this is an outside scene. The setup is Yusuf's house. The time is day. So this is the action. This is the action. So an aerial view of the surrounding that has no movement and seems lifeless as we cut to a leaf. So aerial view, this means that you need a high shot, probably a drone shot. You see that? So already in production, or the director will say, I need a drone. So from the script, you determine the budget of the film. So already this tells you that we need a drone for this film. Then cut off to a leaf where we see a running, crying word. The camera, so I'm just trying to talk about the camera. The camera and he passes by the camera. We now look around at Yusuf. So basically this scene, I wrote it to from a camera's perspective. You see that? So is everybody on board? I will take questions, but I just want to get the thing. I want to share now the next part. Stop sharing. Okay. So good. Where is it? Yeah. I want to open the application. So these are the applications that we use for script writing. There is Contour, which I'll send it to you guys. The Final Draft Writer, Celtic Script. So Celtic Script is the one I'm advising us to use. Celtic Script, and you can download it even on your phone. It's an application you can have on your phone, on the laptop. You can also have it on the laptop. So I just want to open it, and then I'll share the screen. Oh, Celtics, okay.
Yeah, I'm enjoying. This is fantastic. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. We love it. So after this, we need to start writing things. So the application we'll be using is Celtics. So yeah, it's opening. And so this, for those with laptops, I've heard, rumor has it that okay, great. Rumor has it that they're not downloading anymore. So share screen. Okay, Celtics. So when you open the application, right? When you open the application, can everybody see?
Yes,
You can see, right?
sure.
Okay, great. So this is the Celtic application we're going to be using. So this is how it looks.
Okay.
On the,
Yeah, I can see.
you can see
I
it.
can see.
Great. So when you
Yeah.
open the application, the first thing you see is film. So if you're writing a film, you click on film. So you can see that you can write many things. You can write even an audio visual, a theater for those in drama. You can even do an audio play. Those radio audio dramas that you hear, you can write it. A storyboard, a comic book, a novel, right? So since we're writing film, we click on film. You can see, right? Everybody can see? Everybody confirm?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see now.
Okay, great. So this is what that thing I was talking about scene heading, action, character, dialogue, parenthetical, it has it set up for you. So the first thing when writing is here. This is the scene heading. So number one, you name your scene probably. The next thing is that where is this scene taking place? Is it inside or outside? So for example, we'll say interior. So meaning this is inside, right? So what's happening? Let's say, let's describe the scene. Michael is on a Zoom meeting. What time? It's at night, right? So the beautiful, if you press enter, it takes you immediately to the action. You see that? So if you notice here, it changes. Look at this, right? I'm here. If I press enter, look here, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
It goes to the action. So the action now, as we said, you describe now what's happening in your scene. So Michael is having a Zoom class,
Meeting.
a Zoom class with friends, and he's on his laptop. So basically, this is the action. This describes the sentence. So this is what you use the setup as a writer, where your character is placed. You can even define what they're wearing. He is wearing a black,
I'm enjoying it.
a man. he's wearing a black shirt. So meaning that you even need, so meaning that this tells the directors and the producers that you need a black shirt. Right. So the next thing after this, right? So that's you go to character, you click the character. So I was going to say, no, as a script, you need these specifications, the format, the setup, but all this is in the application. So no need for that. Tool, font, everything is perfect like this. So the character, let's say Michael, right? Then the dialogue. So you've seen here, character, right? This is the character. As soon as you press enter, it switches to dialogue. So now this is the words he's talking. Okay. I love God. So this is basically what this is the dialogue. We all know what the dialogue. Next is, so have you noticed that if I press M, it even brings Michael again. So another advice is that's why sometimes you find in films, people don't have the same name starting with the same name. So it's like you've got Michael, you wouldn't want Martin. You see that? You wouldn't want Martin because next time you're writing the other character, when you press this, sorry.
Give me a kiss.
So when you press M, it brings Martin and Michael. So that's why you find sometimes people in the film, if there's a character with his name M, other characters will have a different name because it helps you for next time remembering. I don't know if we're clear, right? Yes. So then in this part, right, we've got the parenthetical. The parenthetical, this describes the actor's movements. So like this, maybe I say crying. I can put crying there. then the dialogue can still go in. So the parenthetical describes the character's movements. Are we clear?
Yes.
And then there's the transition, there's the shot, there's the text. The transition is basically, you can even say cut to. You see that? So you go to the next scene. So as a screenplay, you also determine on how the sequence of the movie is going to occur. So when they are editing, they'll say, okay, interior, Michael is on Zoom meeting. When that is done, cut to, they'll know the next scene. So through the script, you also place the sequence of the scenes, how they're going to occur. So next scene will probably say exterior, playing football. Playing football day, right? So even when people are watching the film, it's going to start with Michael on Zoom meeting. From there, it's going to go to playing to the playing field. So in script writing, one page, right, is equal to basically 1 minute. So if you want to determine how long your movie is, just count how many pages you have. Is that
Okay.
clear?
Yes.
Yes. So sometimes, but a scene can even be 20 pages, but a rough estimation. Yeah. I want to go back to this. I will take questions, don't worry. Yeah. Let me share my screen. I'm also rushing because Zoom has 45 minutes maximum. So if it starts,
I'm also rushing because Zoom has 45 minutes maximum. So if you start,
please mute your mics. Okay. Yeah. So the structure of each scene should begin with a middle. Each scene should have a beginning. Sorry, can people, let me just mute, somebody's mic is on. Who's that? Let me just mute. Sorry, I've muted just to not get a feedback. So the structure of each scene should have a beginning, it should have a middle, and it should have an end. And should do 4 things. So these are the 4 things you should have in your script. Give new information or review character. So if you saw in my script, I introduced a character or something like that. It should involve bonding the audience with characters. So it should see how the pieces come together. So if you describe as your character Rich, even his environment should match his description. You can't have that the character is rich, but then his surrounding is poor. So it should bond. The wife, if you say husband and wife, they should look like husband and wife. Not one is a baby and one is a wife. It's a mismatch. It should include conflict resolution. So you need to create a problem and the solution. And have you noticed whenever you're watching a movie or a series, that's what keeps you intrigued. Next time on Zuba, you'll be like, oh, I can't wait. Oh, previously on Impali. You see that the problems and the resolution keep you intense. You see that? And then the completion, the way forward, the move on. So you find even stories change and all that. Oh, this time Guzu is having a problem with Hambe. The next moment the farm is destroyed. The next moment it's this wife and all that. And each thing should come to a completion, a conclusion. Don't leave too much of the audience in an ambiguous state where they don't know what's going on, because you may lose them. But again, don't sell all the information out. On pacing your scenes, well, yeah, I think this is okay. What else have I left out? Okay. Yeah, I think I can take questions for now. I don't know if there are any questions. Let me just check in the chat. Okay, I'm following. I can't. Oh, I can't see anything in my badges. Okay, are there any questions? Are there any questions?
My question is like who both says, for example, if you're watching movies and then the viewers will start complaining to say like the director should change the storyline because maybe the movie is not bonding or you can't really see the connection between the previous scenes and the current scene. So is that the problem of the director or is how the script was written, where people can't really
Yeah,
see the direction of the movie anymore?
that's
Yeah.
that's a very very good question. Basically, the director just interprets the script. So sometimes it's both ways. Sometimes you can have that it's a good script, but the bad director, or it's a good script, it's a bad script and a good director. But most of the time, it's usually the script is the guide. The script is the guide.
Okay.
So, and I know there's some
Okay.
yes.
Thank you for that, Mr. Michael. And my question is that is it okay for a director to change some scene when they light an element and then the director saw that I know this is unnecessary. I think it's supposed to be like this and like that. Is it okay?
Absolutely, absolutely. A script can change. A script can change. Sometimes it could be like maybe you wrote that you needed a white person, and then unfortunately you couldn't manage to get a white person. So they'll be like, okay, they recast. Sometimes the director does change things. So the script can change anytime. And that's a very good question because there's something I wanted to show you. There's something I wanted to show you because when I was talking about the notes, I had mentioned about the editing. Scripts go constant editing, and I want to show you this. So don't feel discouraged as a writer. You write something and you find that something has been edited. Sometimes, as I've noticed that when I write, it's even hard to do my own my own scripts as well because some things are so complicated. So it's absolutely normal. I don't know if there's another question. I just want to show what he was talking about. Uh, this is a good one. So,
I just want to
yes,
concerning true life story.
yes.
How do they create such true life stories? Like even if this
Wait,
is a true life stories, how do they come up with that?
how do they come up with?
The stories like the true life stories.
Who writes it?
I'm not really sure. I just see to say, oh, this is a true life story, but I begin to wonder who this happened to who and who.
Oh, yes. So, as a writer, you will need to do a lot of research and a lot of reading. A lot of research and a lot of reading. If you're going to write a beautiful story, you will need research. So people gather information. For example, I'm writing a certain film, and I'm searching for certain women who went through certain things. I was writing a film about prostitution now, and it's based on women. So I needed to go gather this information from women who've been in prostitution. So it's through books, but people do write it. I don't know if I've answered your question. So you write, I'll write. So yeah, it's basically story. And sometimes you find it's a story by it's Michael based on Michael's life story. But then you'll find Vivian wrote it or Jennifer writes it. So stories are everywhere. It's basically ideas. I just want to share this just to, yeah, about editing. The script I was showing you, I wrote it. Now look at this. This is how many times I edited that script. So if you write, this is the name, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, and this can change. You see that? So many times a script, especially when you're writing for somebody else, sometimes the investors, and we're going to talk about this, when you're pitching your idea. Example, you pitch your movie to Netflix. Then Netflix says, no, we don't like this part. Remove this, add this. Yeah, so scripts can change anytime. I don't know if there's another question. Do we have questions? If the meeting gets, okay, I think we still have time. It will warn us. If it gets cut, we just click back, but I'm sure we're almost done. Are there any more questions? No questions. So Jennifer says no questions. Vivian, do you have any questions? Okay. So are we safe to say that we are able to write? Okay. So
Yes.
Vivian, you unmute your mic. Your mic is muted. Yeah, you can talk now.
I said kind of. We can try.
You can try, eh? So yeah. So the application to use is Celtics. Let me just put it in the chat. So for those, if you have a laptop, I think you can arrange. I've got the application because somebody told me that it's like they stop. You can't download it, but try your luck. Try download it. But you can also get it on your phone. That is the spelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Oh, all right. Yeah, so that is the spelling. It's called Celtics. And the good part about this application, the reason why I'm saying we should use the same application is that if we, for example, we are about 9 here or 11 people, 12, somebody is in the waiting room. If we are writing one movie and we all want to write it, so you'd find that I would write maybe one part. And then Vivian, you've got some part to write. So we can send the raw file. So we can all edit it. So that's the beautiful part about using one application. Yeah. So, yes, Vivian. Is everything clear? Okay. If everything is clear, I've got a task for people, and I'll say a date in the week when people can send it, because you might as well start writing now. So you need to download this application. If you've got a laptop, I've got the software. Vivian, you still have the software, right? Do you still have the software? Yes. So I've got the software, and I can give it.
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's great. So for those who are near Mulungu, where are you by? What's your school called? Monawasa. So those who are near Monawasa, you can get even the copy from Vivian. You can get it from me. You can try download it, although I've heard that it's a bit difficult. But on your phone, you can easily download it and start writing. So the task, okay, yes, okay. Put the task. I'll put the task in the group. So that, yeah, I'll put the task in the group, and I'm going to send the book, the book in the group as well. So yeah, that was today's class on script writing. We will have another one, basically presentation and how to, when you want to pitch to an investor or somebody to venture in you. That one I'll give it as general knowledge for everyone. So is everybody good? We've got writers in the house.
Very much.
Very much, eh?
Well, everything is fine, man. Thank you for the explanation.
All right.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Something new, huh?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask random questions. What does EXT stand for? What does EXT?
That means the scene that you're about to do, it's outside.
Great.
That's the meaning of EXT, meaning the scene it's outside, not inside the home, but outside.
A great job.
Exterior.
Great job. And then what is the what? An action. What's an action? A scene action. What is a scene action?
A scene action is where the scene is showing the actor what to do, not necessarily requires dialogue, but for example, that scene which you made where they said, I don't know, there's a child who slaps the mother and then says, mama, mama. So the slapping or the touching of the hand on the mother, I think that's an action in like part of the scene. So I don't know if that's right.
All right, great.
Yeah.
I think people have an idea and are on board. I love that. So yeah, I think what did I want to say? I think yeah. So yes, we will have another class, a more detailed one, especially when you pitching. So since people have just gotten the skill of writing, I'll have another class later on how you, when you write a script, you can now take it to a professional. You can take it to even Zambezi Magic and say, oh, I have this story, how to patent your idea and how to sell it. So yeah, that's on script writing. We'll have another class a bit later, but I'm glad people have gotten some information. And then, oh yes, this is the secret I wanted to say. As a writer, you will need to read a lot and research a lot. However, that can be hectic. For example, when I send a book, then you're going to feel stressed to read the book. You know what you do? Just go to the content of the book, and then the certain topic you're looking for, and then look at that. So, example, the acting book I read, I sent. You just go to the content and then look. Oh, how to act for film. Then you go there and read that. Not necessarily that you read the whole book because some information is irrelevant. So you'll find that in a book, you just want certain information. So that's yeah. God bless you, and I pray that great writers come out of this. I really wanted to teach this because I need also people to partner with in writing.
Amen, amen. God has answered that prayer because in here we have best actors, actresses, the directors, the producers, everything. It will be from here, this group. And thank you very much.
Amen. And writing, work doesn't stop. The moment people hear that you're a writer, your work doesn't stop. Right now, I've got like 5 things I'm writing. You see that? So the moment, so when you just start, write your brilliant ideas, write your movies and pack them. Because once people start approaching you to write, work will become overload. So God bless you guys. God bless you. God bless your writing. May your movies go to the far ends of this world. And yeah, I can't wait to read some of your stories. And I can't wait to feel them. And remember, we are going to write a film. We are going
God bless you.
to film. So God bless you. If there's no questions, I think we can call it a night. Yes?
Yeah, but I have a question.
I wanted to ask about time management. How do you manage your time, like
Thank you,
with
thank you.
other things that we have
Yeah, I
already?
think we can go back to WhatsApp now. Thank you very much.
All right. Time management. Am I?
Yes, because it's difficult sometimes. Maybe the book that like you sent, you've got maybe school books, and then you've got this book, you've got a script, a shan.
Yeah.
How do you manage that? How do you handle it?
All right.
Because maybe for you it's easy because it's a full-time job.
First of all, number one, you need to prioritize your time. You need to understand what's most important, and to determine what's most important is what it brings in your life. Secondly, you shouldn't commit too much. That's why I think when people in this class as well, I sent you first the voice note, or I sent you that. Then when you said you're on board, that's when I invited you. Don't commit too much, because sometimes you find you've committed into this, now you overwhelmed. So prioritize your time, then choose what you want to do precisely. Don't just pick anyhow. Thirdly, as well, is sleep early, wake up early. So don't have social media sometimes takes too much of your time. So find out what eats your time. If you notice in your day, most of us will say we're busy, but in a day we spend about 8 hours or 5 hours on social media. Those hours could have done something. Lastly, break your activities up in pieces. For example, if you are at school, you are studying. After studying, you can write a script for like 10 minutes. You write something because since you enjoy, so find things that you enjoy, productive things that you enjoy that keep you busy. For example, you'll be studying. After studying, you just write a script that will warm you up your mind. So discover yourself as well. But anyway, I'll give this talk a bit in detail because I think I also need it. I think I was late on this meeting while everybody else was early. So yeah, I don't know if there are any other questions, but I will get back to this question in much more details.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Um, have a blessed evening. God bless you, and we'll see each other.
Hey, before you go,